make a distinction between the technology, the philosophy behind the technology, the unintended consequences of the technology, and the intended consequences of the technology. Now, there's a god-awful mix-up of all these issues. The technology is extremely basic. It's actually the most basic conceivable computer technology there is. It's very simple. There's a series of databases. They coalesce, and it's a no-brainer in terms of technology. However, behind this technology, there is pernicious intent. The technology was designed with addiction and conditioning in mind. Now, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is based on testimonies provided by the engineers who had originally come up with the platforms. Multiplicity of them. The Google engineers, the Facebook engineers, the Twitter engineers, they had testified in front of Congress, they went public, they repented and confessed, and so on and so forth. When these platforms had been designed, they had been designed with two things in mind: to condition and addict people, to constitute virtual or digital drugs, and to encourage base instincts such as aggression, because these are very conducive and very good for viewership, monetizing eyeballs. It was an advertising-based model, so the idea was to increase the number of views. To increase the number of views, you need bad things to happen. You need envy. You need aggression. You need ill will. You need conflict. You need fake news. I mean, you need all this. It's inbuilt. It's baked into the platforms. It's an integral part of the philosophy of technology. Now, there's been intended consequences, of course. People got addicted. People have been conditioned by the platforms. The rise of emotional negativity, or negative emotionality, to be more precise. Things like relative positioning, competitiveness, competition, bad type of competition. The rates of suicide among consumers of social media has skyrocketed by an average of 50%. The rate of depression has quintupled, 5 times higher. The rate of anxiety has tripled in a period of 10 years, within 10 years. So among social media users, there's a pandemic of mental illness propagated by the platforms intentionally. It's shocking, but it's intentional. There have been unintended consequences. There have been unintended consequences. These platforms have been leveraged by terrorists. They've been leveraged by state security services. They've been leveraged to disrupt elections. They've been leveraged for hacking. These were unintended consequences. But when it comes to the psychology of users, the abuse of the psychology of users, and the perpetration of a crime against humanity, because it's the only way to describe it. These are 2 billion people. This has been intentional. And it's not a conspiracy theory. I detest conspiracy theories. That's not.
So to add to that, how much of that do you think contributes to the lack of identity and individuality to people today through social media?